folks, this is Jake Davis. I'm going to bring you a Bond by Bond video right now. I just finished shooting my late review for Mandy from 2018, an inspiring and brilliant, poetic horror film starring Nicolas Cage. And it was so good, it was so riveting. I just wanted to keep my energy up. And I decided I wanted to shoot. I got a lot of videos guys shoot, so I decided to go and shoot this next video for you. So now I'm going to talk about the Timothy Dalton era of James Bond. Fuck. Anyhow, when we get to 1987, Bond is a good quarter century into his legacy at this point. And with the fourth actor playing the role, kicking off his role, his era, it was questionable what it was really going to be like. And you gotta also keep in mind this time, by this point, guys were turning the role down. Bond became a role that, who's going to be the next Bond, too? I don't know if I want to do James Bond. Pierce Brosnan, at that time, had turned it down. Mel Gibson, can you believe that? I mean, never mind what they say about Gibson now, but who was a bigger star in the late to mid-'80s than fucking Mel Gibson? He was a huge star. And, they needed him more than he needed Bond for his, reputation-wise. So we get to The Living Daylights, and look, it's a terrible movie. It's not that great. It's the better of the two, but it's not saying much. A stupid title, totally forgettable, the theme song. I don't even remember who did the theme song off the top of my head. And, the plot is basically just James Bond's protecting the witness of a murder kind of thing. And Joe Don Baker's a villain who had come back in the Brosnan era as the replacement Felix. It wasn't a great era. And then there was his follow-up, his only other Bond movie he only did the two. License to Kill in 89, where now, Felix gets fed to a fucking shark. I can't remember if he survives or not, but the point is, they've written Felix out of the Bond films at this point. Pierce Brosnan's era didn't have the Felix at all. And we got Robert DeVay as a villain and Benicio del Toro as his henchman. Memorable performance by del Toro, gotta give him that. And it's over fucking cocaine or some shit. So basically James Bond is so out of original ideas, we're just gonna start ripping off fucking Miami Vice. We're doing TV action shows now, man. Again, not a memorable theme song, not a memorable villain, and not a memorable Bond babe, to throw in the pig factor, because it is a factor, sorry. But more so than being bad, more so than being forgettable, the most unforgiving thing about the Timothy Dalton era of James Bond is they were unsuccessful. There were bona fide flops, both his first and even more so the second one. And then, then there's the time the second one came out. I mean, like I said, a quarter century into James Bond now. Now, we've added on to the legacy of action movie heroes, characters like Indiana Jones, fucking Rambo, and now even Batman. Bond felt passé. Bond felt washed up, unoriginal, end of his line, and it showed in the box office. People were not interested. Hell, it showed in the creativity. Doing a fucking Miami Vice movie, stealing ideas from the fucking Connery unofficial film, killing off Felix, or whatever they did. I can't remember if he died or not. That's how it did. And then there's the title, License to Kill. Just 007, it's a license to kill. So it's not even a clever play on anything, It was a disastrous era for James Bond. And the most unfortunate thing to come out of all of this was, well, one, it virtually killed the franchise for 6 years. There wasn't even talk for a Bond movie. And secondly, was Dawn. Dawn was labeled as box office poison after these movies. And it wasn't fair because Timothy Dalton was great. He was good in these movies, too. He was an excellent choice for James Bond. But, oh man, unfortunate. So unfortunate. Yeah, sure, George Lazenby only did the one film. But George Lazenby's movie made money. George Lazenby's movie is good. And George Lazenby is respected in the role. Timothy Dalton is the most unappreciated, unloved Bond. He's the George Clooney of Bond. It's unfortunate, but it's the facts. Some people might say Val Kilmer, but no. Come on, George Clooney was the worst Batman. Don't get me started on that shit. The Batman by Batman videos will be coming next year when it's time to shit on Robert Pattinson and that stupid fucking Batman. Anyhow. Next up is the Pierce Brosnan era. A guy, I'm not totally in love with his era of the Bond films. Timothy Dalton films were a disappointment. I revisited them in my mid-20s. I remember when they first, I saw them on cable, when I was first getting into Bond. But yeah, they are very forgettable. They're very bad movies. But up next is the Brosnan era. Brosnan, no matter what you say or think about the Brosnan era films, at the very least, this man brought James Bond back from the brink of irrelevance. And he's kept him there he's still there. 25 years after GoldenEye. And, hell, shit. I can't wait to get to that one. I'm Jake Davis, and I'll catch you on the fly.